Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the Week with Monique. Today, I am covering for you the breaking news of the day. The Supreme Court released its decision in the case Trump v. Casa, which is actually a combined number of cases that they address together. And the court, in a 6-3 opinion, has decided that the administration is not going to be able to be universally enjoined by any district court judge from doing their unlawful actions. I'm adding the unlawful part. The court doesn't address whether birthright citizenship is actually a part of the Constitution or not. It says that the issue was not directly before them, and that's true because the government didn't seek to put that issue directly before them. That's part of the game that this regime is playing. Anyway, the court says in a 6-3 decision written by Supreme Court Justice Coney Barrett, that they won't be dealing with that issue directly. However, one district court judge or two district court judges, et cetera, throughout the United States do not have the authority, the congressionally mandated authority, to do these global nationwide injunctions that the rights of any particular citizen, child born in this country who should have birthright citizenship are adequately protected through lawsuit, or that multiple rights are protected through class actions of individuals, and there is no need to drop a blanket preventative measure such as a universal injunction against the bad conduct by this administration or any other. I want to read to you from Justice Sotomayor's dissent. She says in part, "No right is safe in the new legal regime the court creates. Today, the threat is to birthright citizenship. Tomorrow, a different administration may try to seize firearms from law-abiding citizens or prevent people of certain faiths from gathering to worship. The majority holds that absent cumbersome class action litigation, courts cannot completely enjoin even such plainly unlawful policies unless doing so is necessary to afford the formal parties complete relief. That holding renders constitutional guarantees meaningful in name only for any individuals who are not parties to a lawsuit. Because I will not be complicit in so grave an attack on our system of law, I dissent." I want to read a line from Justice Jackson's dissent, in which she says the following: "I agree with every word of Justice Sotomayor's dissent. I write separately to emphasize a key conceptual point. The court's decision to permit the executive to violate the Constitution with respect to anyone who is not yet sued is an existential threat to the rule of law." I would invite you to, as always, read these for yourself, but what they say is the point. If this administration, which we know is lawless, which we know does not respect the Constitution, which we know is not truly an executive branch administration, but seeks to be a regime. Because what we know about this administration, which fancies itself a regime and actually, aided by decisions like this by the Supreme Court, is a regime in practice, they will ignore the Constitution. They will be completely lawless. They will continue to do whatever they can get away with doing until some other branch stops them. I said to you all at the beginning of this administration, when they were taking those first actions, we're about to figure out how much Constitution we actually have left and how much of a democracy this country will remain. And it's decisions like this that take us further and further away, because when everybody knows that the concept of birthright citizenship is absent argument, it is clear on its face and has been settled law since this country's inception, and you can look up the reasons. The reasons are because of a need to guarantee the citizenship of those who were then slaves, who were supposed to be being freed through Emancipation Proclamation. So what we're seeing now is the flouting of pushing the envelope and pushing the envelope by this administration. And what Justice Jackson says really is the point, that if we weren't dealing with an administration that considers itself a regime, acts like a regime, ignores law, ignores constitutional principles, then we wouldn't have an existential threat. Any other administration, in a prior Biden administration or under the Harris administration we're supposed to be under, it wouldn't be a problem because they wouldn't be trying to flout just complete abandonment of legal principle, constitutional, foundational rights and laws. So we wouldn't have the same level of threat. I want to read to you part of Sherilyn Ifill's statement. Sherilyn Ifill, formerly of LDF, who now is the founder of the 14th Amendment Center for Law and Democracy at my alma mater, Howard University School of Law. In her statement, she says, "These children born in this country because of this ruling will be stripped of citizenship while their case on the merits makes its way through the courts. The result will be the creation of stateless persons, one of the most devastating circumstances any person can face. Worse still, this court has had the benefit of witnessing over the past 6 weeks how brutally this administration treats those it believes are not citizens and who lack legal status in this country. We can now expect to see masked agents searching for children they believe will fall within the purview of this executive order." Finally, she goes on to say, Justice Barrett's effort to frame this decision as though it merely concerns procedure and the reach of judicial power without ever mentioning the dire consequences for the children affected tells the entire story. This is death by procedure. So that's what we're looking at. That's what we're looking at, death by procedure, because the Supreme Court majority knows that it can take years. It could take years for this to make its way, for the issue of birthright citizenship to make its way up properly through the courts, absent an injunction, which means the harm to these children, to these families, that can be caused by this hateful regime of an administration is untapped. There's no way to quantify the amount of harm that can happen while the issue is making its way through the courts. That is what Sotomayor was talking about in talking about what this regime is trying to do. That is what Justice Jackson is talking about in her dissent about the existential threat to fundamental freedoms. Now, the court and many legal and constitutional scholars have had problems with injunctions, sweeping injunctions in the past, because when you, through one jurisdiction, through a federal district court, say that something can't happen anywhere because it seems clear that what the offending party is trying to do is obviously lawless, obviously violates the Constitution. The courts have had problems with that because they believe that can be interpreted, over-interpreted, misinterpreted to prevent actions globally when the issue has not been addressed on the merits. And I recognize why people would have problems with that, but this is the exact reason why in some instances it's necessary. Can you imagine something else that's clearly unlawful on the books? Murder in the middle of a street. And it would have to be the case that a court couldn't say, no, what you actually did is murder, and murder is against the law, but you can keep on murdering people until it works its way through the court because we've never seen a murder case that looks exactly like this one. What would be the consequences? What would be the consequences? Isn't it akin to what this administration is doing in immigration and what's to stop them from only doing it with those who have issues due to immigration status. What's to stop them from moving forward and trying to do it, claiming that someone's immigration status is questionable? What's to stop them from doing it with others? Who's next? What scenario is next? As Justice Sotomayor said, same-sex marriage, LGBTQ rights, will they create law as they go? Anyone they want to get rid of, they just try it until the Supreme Court makes them stop years later? That's the threat we're under right now. That is why, frankly, voting has consequences. And if you think that this has nothing to do with you, look back on prior weeks with Monique where I break it down and explain it all to you. Because no matter who you are, this is at your doorstep. There are none safe when the administration does not think that there is any check on their power. That's Trump's America. I tell you all the time, you've got to vote. You got to vote up and down the ballot in every election. You've got to now, frankly, because while all this is happening, the Senate is voting to take away the health care rights of millions of Americans in order to give a tax break to those who don't need it. It's all happening at the same time. Please make your voice known. Please reach out to your elected members of Congress, House and Senate. Please, in any community organizations you belong to, make sure that they are speaking up on your behalf and that your local and state officials are speaking up on your behalf. We need to do this, and it's going to take all of us to stop the actions that this administration has planned for anybody in America who is not white, Christian, male with means. Is that you, woman? Is that you, poor person? Is that you, person of color? Is that you, member of the LGBTQ community? We're all in it together, and we will have to fight together in order to survive these times. Thanks for joining. Thanks for listening. If you're not yet subscribed to my channel, to the Monique Pressley channel, please do so. I'll talk to you soon. Until next week, stay safe out there.
Thanks everyone for watching. Your support means the world to us. So make sure you hit the like button and you subscribe to our channel to make sure that you never ever miss a video. We're live every day, 10 a.m. Eastern time. We drop even more content at 2 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Eastern. And if you want more Don Lemon Show content, we'd love for you to become a member of the Lemon community, where you will receive access to special community posts. You'll get exclusive content and members-only live shows. So head over to our channel page or click the join button on this video. Again, thank you for watching. We appreciate your love and your support, and we will see you next time.